Good afternoon. My name is Nduati, and I'm pretty much a new student of Centonomy. I graduated last month, so it's pretty fresh in my mind. But I think for the purpose of today, and to be a little bit quick, I'd like to define myself as a know-it-all. And I think from that point of view is where I will talk about my Centonomy experience and make it relevant to you, hopefully. So, I finished university in 2008. Before that, I worked as a banker. Immediately after that, I worked as a banker for almost 1 year. And the reason I'm a know-it-all, because I left the banking industry to travel. And I thought it was a really good idea to see the world and be exposed to, different things. I traveled for many reasons. Initially, it was to go see a girl. And she broke up with me almost as soon as I got there. So I had 4 months to kind of figure out things without her, which was, I think, was some of the best moments in my life. Anyway, I came back after the 4.5 months of traveling. I was in North America, mainly the USA. I was in Mexico for some time. When I went to Mexico, for instance, I just got on a bus and went and tried to figure out how to move around. Once I got there, I kind of freaked out. Some guys tried to kidnap me, and there are a lot of different stories related to my travels. Then I went to Europe for another 2 months, and there I ended up going to Czech Republic randomly because I missed a bus going to Latvia, and I landed and I felt like, fuck, I can't understand the language, the signs. I thought they would be in the English alphabet, but they have the very Russian kind of alphabet, and so I had to figure out my way as well. And so I think those experiences were really amazing. And I came back and I worked as a barista, strangely, at the cafe here. And my father was not happy with me because I was I had a degree and I worked at a really good job at Barclays Corporate Banking before I left. And I wanted to pursue music, so I spent a lot of time playing guitar with my band. I'd been playing music for a long time and really thought I'd be a rock star. So, again, you can see where the know-it-all personality comes in, Anyway, to cut a long story short, I now run an advertising agency, which is my third entrepreneurial venture. So the other two have failed. And from this agency, my big head continued to grow because a lot of people think it's successful. We have been in operation for 4 years, and we have 20 employees. We have great clients, have humongous brands. We primarily do digital marketing, but we're the digital agency for brands like Coca-Cola, Nivea, Microsoft, and so on. So people begin to tell you, wow, you're doing such a good job, and then you really begin to get a big head and think that you know a lot. So that's why, you see my problem. It keeps coming back, So, and I think because people tell you you're successful, and the people that you hang out with, somebody who I work very close with is a partner of mine in business, drives a Hummer, and so your crew looks the part, and the guys you hang around with look the part, and so you begin to think that you are just like them. But I would not respect a lot of people's opinions, especially people who are not in business, because I felt that they did not quite understand the struggles. I may talk about some of the successes in the business, but we have failed big time. There have been months where we have not been able to pay guys' salaries on time. Sometimes it even pushes to the following month. We have had to borrow money from friends and favors because you don't have a good line of credit with the bank and so on. So all these kind of experiences really taught me what does a course like Centonomy have to offer. if I'm going through all these experiences, Centonomy is supposed to be for people like Janet, who are earning big bucks and just spending it recklessly. But because of the hardship I know of, lavishly, champagne lifestyle, not recklessly, sorry. And because I know how hard it is to earn money, because I never really got into my job. Like, I had a good job, but I never really got comfortable in it, and I was never a big spender. So I just thought Centonomy says, if you're employed, if you're earning good money, then Centonomy is for you. It's not for the business person. But it has taught me such fundamental business lessons within the past 3 months that I've been doing the course that I'd like to share with you briefly. Firstly, there was the eye-opening moment when I realized that what I was taking home from my business could not support my lifestyle. And as I told you, I'm not a big spender. Aside from the traveling and some of the hobbies that I have, I don't really spend a lot of money. I'm not a guy to go to the club and buy Raos and shots and, or even if I go for holiday, like my trips are very random. I will use the train and I will stay in a cottage. I will not spend a lot of money in a fancy hotels, etc. But one of my big things is that I want a house. You know what I mean? And I always felt that, oh man, see, one day my business will do well enough and I'll be able to afford a house. And if we just keep on nanganaing, if we just keep on working hard, and pushing, like, us Kenyans, we like to push, through these challenges of business. We are a young company. I'm sure in the next couple of years, Coke will pay us more money. They'll give us a bigger contract, maybe for more countries or whatever it may be. And then I'll be able to afford the kind of lifestyle that I wanted. But the course really helped us begin to calculate what it would take to have the desired lifestyle that we would like. Mine was not extravagant. It wasn't to own big cars and so on, but it was the simple thing that I need to stop paying rent. And I've not been living alone for a long time, but I just don't like it. You know what I mean? It's nasty. Yeah. Yeah, I'm friends with my landlord on Facebook, and I see that she goes for really nice holidays, like in Spain and Italy, and I'm like, what the hell? What I'm giving her every month is contributing to this kind of travel, and she doesn't travel low budget like I do, So I'm like, okay, so this really needs to end. So Centonomy began to help me think of structuring my business and all other income streams. Sometimes we take for granted some of the skills we have. Like I told you, I'm a musician. I've been playing guitar for over 10 years. But there are skills that I have that can help me earn money. So can I decide on weekends, on Saturday mornings, or the whole day to be training kids guitar lessons and earn maybe 1,000 bob a lesson for 2 hours or something like that? You know what I'm saying? So they're just small things that you can begin to do. Or you have a piece of property that you may have been given and you never really thought of doing anything with it because, it's in Ocha. But what can you do with that property to begin adding extra income? Like we did a module in class where we were given, 1 million shillings and told to make it into 100 million in 2 years or something of the sort. And I did something that is very relevant to my industry. I decided to start a media company. Like we do advertising creative, but I don't buy media. Like I don't buy billboards and TV space and that kind of things. I only primarily buy media online. But the real money in advertising, I think for anyone who knows the industry, is in buying media. Because that is why you get a good commission, and that is why a lot of the companies would want to allocate a good amount of budget to, not necessarily to creative work, which is what I do. And so we are like, crap, let's take this media thing seriously. It's always been something that I've wanted to do and I said I'll do. But Centonomy said, Dan, for you to get that house, Ebu, start thinking seriously about starting a media part of the advertising agency that you currently run. It's really helped me to push my team and the whole business into a very targeted approach to say, you guys, I want a better lifestyle, you want a better lifestyle, and these are some of the things that we have to do to get there. So basically, it's taught me to respect people a lot more. Like, I don't have such a big head. In terms of like, when you have your classmates and you have people giving their stories, like everyone's story is powerful. I always thought that I would only really learn from other entrepreneurs and business people that are greater than I am. But I've learned from people who have less experience than me, who are employed, who are self-employed. And each of us, I think, have a unique financial story. And it's really good to learn how money affects us and changes how we consider things, how we live our lives, etc. One of the big lessons I learned in Centonomy was yield. A lot of the times, and I keep on telling young people this, and I'm a horrible example, but I always say, dudes and girls, do not only think of glamorous work. Like, I'm in a very glamorous industry. It's cool when you go to the club and you say, what do you do? I'm in advertising, man, I'm in Coca-Cola, blah, 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 yeah. And other guys are like, I'm in insurance. I'm like, ha, ha, ha. Anyway, so, but the course really helped us analyze yield. So aside from plan, Nduati, plan for your home, plan for your wedding, plan for any future expenses, your kids' school fees, etc., and build your business, invest, and so on for that. A big lesson that I learned was also analyzing yield. What is the best use of our time? What is the best use of our money? And one of the greatest examples that I can give you when we did the property course was the property in Umoja was giving us a much, much larger yield than buying the fancy apartment complex or the fancy apartment to rent for 100 and something K in Kileleshwa. When you basically do the mathematics and you see the money I'm putting in and what is my expected return every month, there are industries, there are places that are not as glamorous, and they don't look fun, they're not nice to talk about in the club. Like dudes, when you're marking a chick, they don't know that you have property in Umoja. They want you to be Kileleshwa, Karen, But really, there's so much wealth in industries and in places where we do not believe there is, Like these guys you see with exhauster services, maybe they're making a killing, a lot more money than I am, picking up guys' crap. Yeah, so consider that. And another big lesson, but this I didn't only start during Centonomy, but it's one thing that I would like to leave you all with, is that never stop learning. Like, in as much as I started off my talk saying that I have a big head, I am a sucker for learning new things. And Centonomy has taught me to learn, especially from new people, and has really removed a lot of the thoughts that I had in terms of employed people can teach me something, or that the course is not just designed for Janets, but like I do small things. Like last year, I decided to stop going to the hang so much because I realized what power a hangover can have over us. A hangover can stop you from, to be honest, I ride horses, and I learned that in the past 1 year. And I ride pretty well. I jump. I'm preparing for competition, but I've become a bit lazy. I can ride cross country if I want. And so it's one of the things that I do almost every Sunday, and it makes me feel amazing. Then I got an offer the other day to come and learn archery, and I learned archery in the last quarter of last year. And it was cost me 7,000 shillings to do the beginner course in archery, and a year membership is also 7,000 shillings. So like every weekend I can shoot every week I can shoot 3 times a week for 7K. Like I feel that there are just so many things that we can do in this country and in this city that can help us grow as people, and that don't necessarily cost a fortune. To be honest, horse riding, archery, and all the random stuff that I do is a lot cheaper than going out, but has really helped me grow as a person, and really humbled me to say that each time I have to learn something new, I always have to humble myself and say, this person knows more than I do. My time's up. Yeah, but this person knows more than I do, and there's something that they can give me that will help me grow and that will help me see things in a different way, and I think that is what is really important. So I hope you have enjoyed what I've had to say. Thank you.